Yo, it's Moo time.
Yo, it's Michael McGarrahan.
Yo, it's Brendan Mascherino.
This is Cameron Crawford, and we are back with episode 8 of Damn Cub Podcast. And today, this is a very, very special episode. We've been prepping for this one for weeks, dare I say months, maybe even years. And our guest today is an expert on movies, which will fit in nicely with our theme, and he's our creative producer. So, special guest, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Kevin Small, and thanks guys for having me on here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Of course.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Consider yourself welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Very much.
Possibly, no, I'm not going to say possibly, since Big B dipped out. This is our best guest yet. No disrespect to Rock On Memes, but
Yeah, no
this is
disrespect.
our
Thanks guys, man.
most anticipated.
Our
So-
biggest guest yet.
And for those of you who don't know, this is our Halloween special.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, watch it, buddy. All right, let me just get things kicked off with a very unrelated story. So, it was a football game.
East-West, to be particular.
Me and Big Cameron Crawford, we were just pulling up the game, all right? And it was a hype time. And they say coincidences happen unusually. Actually, I don't know anyone that says that, but just go with the flow. So they say that things get crazy when shit hits the fan. And let's just say shit hit the fan.
Facts.
All right, so before I leave the car, I'm like, are you ready? And then when I unplugged the aux, a second after I said, are you ready? The Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust, says the line, are you ready?
Damn.
It was
Wow.
it was really a you had to be there moment, but let me put it in perspective. Moose says, "Oh, are you ready?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm ready." Unplugs aux. Are you ready?
That's
And
crazy.
they say
Crazy.
coincidences happen. Whoa. They say coincidences happen, but this ain't no coincidence.
This is real shit.
That's some Halloween kind of stuff going on.
That's
I think
some
that's to do with the reason. Like it's October. I think it correlates.
I mean, it is
correlates
October.
with that.
They say it's
Like-
October.
That's fair.
But is
That's
it
fair.
really?
I mean,
I mean, if the
Yeah.
Mayan calendar
I
said
mean-
so, and then Julius Caesar's like, nah. I think it is.
exactly.
Mm.
All right, so that was just our brief little story to jump right in. But since it is the Halloween episode, we'd like to dive into some spooky topics.
All right, so what do we want to dive into first?
Well, on our topics to hit list, jump scares is next. So
Wow.
So, if you ever watched a horror movie, you hear a loud noise and a spooky shit hits the screen. That's what they call a jump scare in the industry. And I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Do you find them scary? Do you think they're effective? What do you guys think?
So, all right, let me put it this way. Jump scares frighten me. And I know I'm not a movie novice or expert, so that might sound a little lame, but just the idea of it, something just pops out at you. It's just like natural instincts and reflexes to be scared of that. So only for a second it like makes my heart jump or whatever, but it's not like physically like keeping me up at night.
I think the main thing, essential piece of a horror movie is jump scares. Just personally, I feel that way.
Watch it,
That
buddy.
I'm going to have to disagree, but continue.
just because I feel like horror movies, one of the main points of them is to help scare the or not help scare the audience, scare the shit out of the audience, and I feel like jump scares help with that a lot.
All right.
Personally, that's what scares me when I watch a horror
I'm
film.
going to have to disagree with you 100%.
Then what scares you, Moo?
Nah, here's the problem
Whoa.
with... Here's the
Keep it civil,
fundamental...
lads.
Hey! quiet down.
It shows you.
Here's my fundamental problem with jump scares. The thing is, all right, so a horror movie, you're supposed to feel that tension. You're supposed to keep building tension. Problem with jump scares is that it releases that tension. It's much more exciting to watch a horror movie when you always feel a jump scare's about to happen, but it never does. It just keeps on teasing you.
Says the baby.
Watch it, buddy.
So you guys think the suspense is really
Yeah.
the horror
What drives
as
it.
opposed
Because,
to the
like,
jump scare?
No jump scare has ever kept me up at night. But when you think about a movie that psychologically toys with you,
That's
or
fair.
concepts that just like etch into your mind,
I mean, why do you think it's called a jump scare?
yeah, but it's not really a jump scare. It's more of a jump lame, if you ask me. I don't know. It's like it can be effective if used very sparsely, but it's not that scary because right after a jump scare, you know what the natural thing many people do? They laugh it off.
Yeah.
They easily relax because they know nothing scary is about to come for the next like 5 minutes at least. Whereas when tension keeps on building and building, then it's like, oh shit, I can't breathe right now. This is, oh man, ah.
That's a good point.
Well, Moo, I might have to disagree on you on this. I think I go with Brendan.
Yes.
I think jump scares are a really big part of like
My
horror
boy
movies,
Kevin.
but like, I mean, it's gonna be pretty tough to like face like the psychological thrillers of like maybe a movie like Hereditary,
Yeah.
but like some movies like I don't know. You might not like this choice, but Paranormal Activity. Like you get like one jump scare and that like kind of hit me as a horror movie. So like
Yeah. There's a horror aspect when it comes to jump scares, I think.
Jump scares are scary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be straight up.
I'm gonna disagree.
Michael.
I mean, I think
Let's
I-
make a bet. Michael's gonna go with what Moo said.
I was gonna say no. I wasn't gonna say that. No. Okay. So I was gonna say I understand both of the sides. I understand what Moo's saying. It's good to build tension, and I understand what Brendan's saying. How like it's not like the same kind of tension. Like you need those scares to be a part of it. And I feel like I'm kind of having this half and half where like I really appreciate. I guess you could say the Moo's idea. It wouldn't occur if jump scares never existed in the first place. Because like now that's when people watch a horror movie, they think, oh, it's gonna scare the crap out of me in these jumps. But like if this never happened, I feel like people wouldn't be anticipating them and then have that. So like I feel like I'm happy they existed in the first place anyway, because then we can have movies like that. Like for instance, like The Witch. With that one, there was little to no jump scares,
true.
and it left a big mark on us, like Moo was saying, which is a good point. Like after that movie, I mean, we were just really shook and like could not even really comprehend. We were still thinking about like just the things we saw, but also what left a mark on me personally is the jump scare parts.
Yep.
I wasn't like, I mean, yes, it kind of dies down after like a little bit, but when some of the images they showed and at the pace that they showed them really hit me hard, and it was something that I remembered after the film ended. So I don't think it's like something that can be always like really dumb and kind of worthless and like just kind of gag. I think if you play it right, if they do it well, I think that a jump scare really can serve. Because like the fact that the film can manipulate someone's like how they're gonna like literally physically behave, like they're gonna want to close their eyes like watching. I think that's just kind of crazy, and I feel like a jump scare plays a pretty big part, despite the fact that it might kind of relieve tension and take away from the horrific aspect of the entire film.
Here's my thing. You can use a jump scare effectively, but if you use it too much, that's when it becomes a problem because then it's almost a phony move. It's a cheap move. But if you have something truly horrific to show in a sudden way, then it might be pretty good. But then at the same time, I have seen many horror movies without jump scares, like 0 jump scares that are horrifying. Like Rosemary's Baby, for example. All the psychological tension and all the horror comes from the subtle differences in how characters act and just that slow building of different. It's just like, ooh, oh man, why are they acting like that? Why are they doing mannerisms like that? And just keeps on building to this huge climax that still has no jump scares, but it's so scary.
I don't know. You all raise good points. So, I guess my takeaway is if a jump scare can be used effectively, then it's nice. It's tough. But if not, then that's some cheese.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely a quality over quantity kind of thing going on.
All right. Anything else to
Like-
add, or
Like, for
Shall we?
example, the jump scares in Lights Out aren't that scary because they happen so often. It's just like, okay, I can almost fall asleep because I know what's coming next.
All right, but let me riddle you this. What about the short Lights Out on YouTube?
See, the short's good because they didn't even have a sound. They just showed you the horrific imagery and just let you sit in that.
And that's suspense all up until the end. So
Exactly.
I agree. That's better. A little more tough.
A little more tough.
Good times. So our next topic is it's another spook. Ghost stories. So anyone got some good ghost stories to share?
Who would like to go first?
I got a good ghost story. Well, it's not a ghost story per se, but more of a scary story.
Hit us, Cam. Hit us with it.
All right. 4 lads get together for a nice evening of cinema.
Ooh.
One of them falls asleep. Oh! I'm messing.
See, that's
Wow.
that's where a jump
I mean, I'm
scare
not
didn't
bad.
have to
Yeah,
be used to be scary.
exactly.
That's
I got
true.
so scared
Yeah.
when you just said that because just the thought of someone falling asleep watching a movie is quite scary if you
It
ask
is
me.
quite
That is
scary.
Oh,
true.
Michael, I wouldn't talk. But anyways,
Anyone else? Ghost stories?
all right.
Why don't you,
Let me indulge you
please,
with a
please,
spooky story.
consider me indulged.
So, I'm out. I'm chilling at KFC. Chicken's pretty tasty. Not gonna lie.
All right.
So I eat some chicken.
What'd you
Then I
find in it?
leave. Nah.
Okay.
This,
Let him tell
this is where the story gets real scary. So I'm out in the alley, and all of a sudden, I hear some noises. Ooh. And then I turn around and I see a silhouette of a man holding a chicken bone. And I'm like, damn, cuz.
Colonel Sanders?
So I go towards it, as expected. And when I go towards him, that ain't no chicken bone. That's all I'll leave you with.
It's a human bone.
So is this real?
It's pretty crazy. Moo, I really appreciate your lack of suspense during that whole story.
Oh,
But thank you, though. That was
watch
great.
it, buddy.
That was
I
good.
think you fell asleep during the suspenseful part.
No. Wait, Moo. So what you're saying is that wasn't a real chicken bone?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Moo, was this story true?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Ooh, bars.
What?
Anyone got any
Yeah.
other spookers or just stories in general?
Any stories?
Stories? Smalls, I know you got one or two good stories.
Ooh. One time I was playing Manhunt
Oh, chill.
and I ran out to the road and I saw this car coming toward me, and the lights weren't on, so I literally couldn't hear it at all. So I jumped out like to the side of the road and I ran toward it and I almost got hit, and then he started going by once again and he just disappeared into the night. I literally didn't see him ever again. It was just really scary for me.
Shoot.
So it was
Like I don't know what happened. Like I was just watching him, and like then I ran down the road, and like he didn't see one thing ever again. Like it was just like it was literally one night at doing Manhunt with like maybe you or
Yo.
it was pretty wild.
Shout out to Muhil Vasigran.
Oh, what can I say?
Name of address withheld. But speaking of shout outs, I'm gonna just give a quick, brief shout out to Elena, Meredith, and Emma because before this podcast, they let me snag their Chinese food, and you know what they say, can't podcast on an empty stomach, so I thank you. And back to what Smalls was saying, I hate when people do that. They ghost with their lights at night. It's so dangerous.
Dude, it's scary.
For the
It is
driver
really scary.
and the pedestrians. And it's just weird. Especially, were you guys playing Manhunt in your neighborhood?
Yeah, we were literally just playing, and I don't know, we were just
It's just like so strange. A residential neighborhood like yours is not where you would expect some hoodlums to be messing around.
Oh, that's what you think. Don't mess with the suburbs.
Oh, I would never.
Speaking of the suburbs, have you ever went trick or treating in the suburbs?
Oh.
I mean, tryna.
I mean, it's finna getting worse every year.
No king size candy bars. Makes me really sad, man. Like, we used to give out king size candy bars like every Halloween, and just like I feel like only a couple people give it out now. Like, what do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, like, tell me what's fun about fun size. Seriously,
Oh,
what's fun about
that's a
that?
that's a
man?
zinger.
That was a good one, Mike. I'll give that one to you.
Yeah, what kind of
Yeah, I gotta agree. It's one night a year. Just spring for the king size candy bars for the children. Like,
Pause.
I mean, don't
Eating
get me
candy
wrong.
doesn't have an age limit, okay?
Exactly.
Oh, and also, those people that are always like, aren't you old to be trick or treating?
Oh, that grinds my
Get
gears.
me
That
on.
grinds
If
my
you got a
gears.
good costume, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Aren't you old to be living?
Oh, chill with that. What?
Damn. The day I'm too old to eat candy. I don't even know.
But I mean, Kevin, go back to what you were saying. I think I understand if people don't really want to have the king size because like it can be a little like financially difficult
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get the king size. It can be expensive. Candy gets expensive, but I feel like nothing lights up a kid's face more
With the
than
big
seeing they got that big king size candy.
Or
You know what I'm saying?
even if they don't give out king size, at least indulge us in more than one piece. They're like, take one. I'm like, bruh, this
Dump
is a
the whole
Tootsie.
bowl.
This a Tootsie Roll.
And, and I'm sorry if I say one thing during this segment, I guess it's that if they don't stop handing out those pretzels and thinking it counts as candy.
Someone was handing out pencils last year.
What is that? Like the pretzels.
Don't
were
get me
shaped like
wrong.
the
No,
pumpkins
no,
and
no.
everything,
Don't get
and
me
the
wrong.
pencils.
Pretzels are pretty dang good.
They're good, but I
That's
can
facts,
buy
that's
pretzels
facts.
on a regular.
Exactly.
yeah.
I got pretzels at home. I don't have that Kit Kat bar at home.
What are you doing, buddy?
Sorry, guys. Things got dangerous in the podcast room.
All I'm saying is like, would you rather be wealthy?
What?
John, let me finish my sentence, McGarrahan. Would you rather be wealthy or see, or see,
Can you speak English? Can you get your thoughts together?
Can you stay awake during a movie?
would
Thanks
you
for bringing that
rather
back.
would you rather be wealthy or see the smile on children's faces?
Pause.
Wait, didn't I just say that like 5 seconds ago?
I was reiterating. I was reiterating McGarrahan. But walnut's kind of goat. I mean, candy's always the best.
Goats.
But let me put it this way: when people start handing out money for Halloween, I'm like,
What?
Wait, what?
That's not a thing.
gives
That's
you
not a
money?
thing. You're lying. You're lying.
I've gotten money for Halloween. I kid you not.
What?
I kid
think
you
you
not.
kid me.
Not a lot.
There's
yeah.
no way.
Riddle me this. Where were you? Because we're going.
My neighborhood. No, trust me, you don't want to come to my neighborhood.
It's
so
like I want
dark.
all the money. I'm not telling you guys.
Everyone
go.
just like goes to sleep. I'm like, bro, it's 6 o'clock.
Bruh, I went to. I've gotten some crazy nice stuff during Halloween in other neighborhoods. I went to one of my friends' neighborhoods during Halloween, and they gave us s'mores.
Yo.
They had a
legit.
fire on their lawn, and they'd just be like, "Oh, trick or treaters, come over here." And they just give us a s'more.
That's tough.
You know what's OG?
That's so tough.
When people slip a freaking can of soda in
Yep,
your trick or
I've
treat
gotten
bag.
that.
I've
in my
never
neighborhood.
done that.
In my
Bro,
neighborhood, I've
I've
gotten
never had that.
soda.
It's
like
so
Coke
smart though
and
because,
Sprite.
well, I mean, I guess honestly, I think soda's cheaper than the candy, the king size
Easily.
candy
It's like
bars.
$1 for 12
Dude, there's
cans
like
or something crazy,
a
like
couple of
$5
bars.
something.
There's like $10 for a pack of a few of them, but then a can of soda's what, like $5 if
Yeah,
that,
for like a 12 pack.
for like
or
a
something.
12 pack.
Yeah, if you go to Costco's or something, you could probably, like, if
bulk
you buy them
cheaper,
in
yeah.
bulk, that'll boil it down to like 40, 50 cents a can.
Parents, if you're listening, buy soda.
Yeah. Now, let me riddle you guys this. Now, we've all been there. The family is out for the night or the weekend, so they leave a bowl out that says take one.
Oh.
Do you take one? Do you take a few, or do you take the whole bowl?
Guess what? You take the table that the bowl's sitting on, okay?
That's true.
But leave the bowl.
Say these people that have the take one has it in front of like a king size bowl, then you take one. 'Cause you gotta
yeah,
respect.
that's-
Respect. That's
I
what
respect
matters.
it.
yeah,
That's respect.
yeah, that's respect.
But if it's all Tootsie Roll.
Exactly.
Like,
If
if you
it's
gotta
like-
take like a couple at least.
If it's a
like,
miniature Tootsie Roll, I'm like,
Tootsie.
Tootsie.
Yeah, I agree. We've all been there. We've all taken the entire bowl. Nothing wrong there. It's fun.
Exactly.
Sometimes I just dump the candy on the porch and take the bowl itself.
I think it's
Exactly.
fine.
done that a couple times.
So, is it actually true that some sickos put like razors and candy and stuff, or no?
What?
Have you heard of that? You know how
Oh,
parents are like,
I mean, I still have my
Let
tongue,
me
so.
check your candy and stuff.
Oh, I know what you're
Make
talking
sure
about.
it's
Oh,
safe.
I mean, there's probably people out there that just
My guess
stupid.
is there was like one incident of it, and then they had to
True.
go ham and like
Yeah.
be protective and like go on the news like, watch your kids' candy.
Yeah.
Like you should melt the Jolly Rancher, check, make sure there's no blaze in it, then reform it and then give it to your
Yeah,
kids.
people have been saying that for decades. I think it started a while back. Someone, some point in time, made some Etch-a-Sketch candy and put like razors or something in it, and like that's just like really freaking
I don't even want
demented.
to think about
What's the
that,
point
that's
of
the
it?
thing.
But to
yeah.
quote Scream, you don't always need a motive.
oh.
Oh,
All right, that was,
Save
that was
it,
kind of
save
twisted, but my point is, don't be that guy to put razors in candy. Just keep buying a normal
Yeah.
piece of candy.
Kevin, what's your
from
opinion
that.
on razors in that candy?
Razors.
Not much of an opinion.
I
Enough said.
whenever I got candy, I was kind of scared because like this one house I went to had like some like different language like candy like that they gave to me, and I was just
Oh,
like,
okay, that's
my mom like
yeah.
looked at it and she's like, maybe you might want to throw
Yeah,
this
that's
away.
what I'm saying.
Like, I was kind of scared to like eat it. I was just
Exactly.
like, I gotta throw this away. I cannot have this at all.
I feel the same way because one year I was trick or treating and some dude handed me M&Ms, but the thing was the M&Ms weren't in a typical wrapper; they were in a
Oh.
plastic Ziploc.
Oh, hell
Like,
no.
Not
like,
okay.
all right, I
No.
would, if there's
Ditch
some
those.
Hands on that.
if there's some reason where you have to take the M&Ms out of the packet and put them in a different bag, either your hands have been on that or worse. So we're done here.
Exactly. All right, I have a question. When you finish trick or treating, do you eat your king size first or do you eat the small ones first? Do you save
Oh,
it?
king size.
Okay, I think I usually go straight for like the nicest one I see, like a king size. Like I'll go for
If I see that thick Twix sitting there, I grab that.
yeah, I go for the nice stuff. But like usually it ends up I don't eat it all because I want to save it, but at the beginning the first thing I go for is that big juicy stuff. So yeah.
I concur with Big Mike. Halloween night, you got the rush, so you.
Oh, you got the
Yeah.
rush.
You
got
gotta-
such a
you gotta
rush.
eat a
You gotta
lot.
crack into
Oh,
one or two king
trust
sizes.
me. Consider it a rush.
You know what really grinds my gears?
What's up?
When we
Hit me
have
with it.
school the next day after Halloween.
Exactly.
Like, bro.
Bro.
Well, they're like, oh, Halloween ends at what, 10 o'clock?
Dude, they ended at like 8 o'clock. then.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when
Jeez.
the curfew is for.
That's
Basically,
so
it's like
dumb.
6 to 8.
Jiminy Christmas.
Well, their excuse is Halloween trick or treat ends at 8 o'clock. But keep this in mind. You didn't do any of your homework before trick or treat because you're so excited
Yeah.
for it. You don't want to do your homework at 8:30, 9 o'clock when you just get in and you're just like dead because you want to eat all this candy.
Yeah.
And then you're with all your friends. Like, I don't know. I just
and you got a big physics test the
Yeah,
next
so
day.
Exactly.
Name and address withheld.
Nothing against name and address withheld.
But
Just
name and address
circumstances.
withheld. Name and address
Trying to move
withheld.
that to Friday. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Halloween is a much more important day to take school off than some of the other holidays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The school should try and do something like the day after Halloween and the day after the Super Bowl. Let the kids have off.
Yep.
This is what I think, though. These teachers are putting these tests, name and address withheld, the next day after Halloween so that we come to school, so that we know we can't miss school.
Facts.
Well, maybe they're just putting it, fit it in their schedule.
Well,
That,
maybe not.
That breaks the heart of a young 17-year-old
Young
lad.
lad.
Exactly.
Young lad.
Just, teachers weren't young wee lads too far back, so think about your time on Halloween and your teachers that gave you tests the next day. It's annoying.
Oh, what do you guys think about those buffoons that don't even dress up during Halloween?
Okay, that
Bruh.
makes me kind of mad. Like,
Yeah, it's like the fat teenager just walks up. He's like, trick or treat.
Chuck's on the football jersey. Thinks they can
Yeah.
call it. That's classic,
Yeah,
man. It's
exactly.
classic.
that's not anything. Like, you gotta have some style at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, after school today, I was walking with Moo, and I was wearing this banana costume, and this chubby freshman's like, "Why are you wearing a banana costume?" I'm like, "Dude, you're wearing a Gap sweatshirt. It's not 2007."
Holy God. I'm like, bro.
That's beautiful.
Do you guys? I'm kind of interested. If you're okay disclosing this information, what are you guys dressing up as for Halloween?
Whatever you have at your house.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You'll see what I am tomorrow.
Kevin, do you have
I
anything?
think I'm wearing like a suit and like some glasses, some like fake
Dang.
glasses. I don't know
All right,
yet.
James
I'm
Bond.
Go
still
for
thinking.
that.
I'm
Well,
still
so-
thinking.
All right, I'll just spill the beans. I'm either gonna go Tom Cruise risky business, get
Ooh.
the 80s sweater tucked into some jeans and the Wayfarer sunglasses, or I might wear some Lawrence of Arabia shit, but I don't want to get freaking booted for cultural appropriation.
I guess the cat's out of the bag for me. I'm wearing a banana costume right now, so I'm probably gonna finesse the same thing tomorrow night, or by the time our viewers by the time our viewers are listening to this tonight,
Yeah.
because
It's-
midnight release.
That's right. Yeah. This morning.
Anyway, Halloween's a banger. It's a great holiday, and Halloween Town is not a good movie.
Disney Channel, please.
Oh,
No.
Disney Channel, if you want to give us sponsorship, by all means, please.
Feel free. Zach and Cody's it's a good show.
I miss that show.
Anyways, are we about to speak about some triple feature movies?
Triple feature.
I mean, I'm down if you're down.
I mean, consider myself down.
Oh, I'll consider you down till the cows come home.
All right, which film would you like to talk? You know, I'm sorry, we got to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street first. Oh my God. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street, a movie about sleeping.
Scary.
It's a good movie.
That is really scary.
No, it
you
is
know?
actually though.
That's
You know
a
what's-
great
You
point,
know what's
Mike.
even scarier?
What?
Never mind, I'll save it.
Save it.
Well, okay, I'm pretty sure it's 1984.
19.
Such a
think
good
so.
year.
Or is it
I
81?
recognize that.
It's
those
81
numbers.
or 84.
Yeah, yeah.
Wes
Isn't
Craven,
that Van Halen?
Amazing.
great
Amazing
horror
movie.
filmmaker. So Nightmare on Elm Street, you got your classic Freddy Krueger,
Oh man.
but
Scary
you know,
face. Scary face.
even though it's considered this slasher classic, it's still a damn good film.
Yep.
I love that movie. The score is awesome. Music's amazing.
Yeah, I liked the movie a lot. I think it was really creative, and just the story behind it was really interesting. Like, I guess going off of the jump scare thing, I wish it had more of a fear factor to the movie. I really enjoyed the story because I thought it was pretty, like, creepy, like, with the dreams and stuff. And I could definitely see how that could make it as a horror film, but I kind of wish there was more of a fear factor to the whole movie overall.
Oh, I think there's some good spooks in it, like when she's in the hallway and you just see the girl's feet get picked up and dragged.
That was weird.
That was great. The dream scene. in
Oh,
the
yeah.
classroom.
That was...
That's such good stuff. But thing is, like, Freddy Krueger is not a very scary looking guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He was way not. I mean, I think his face is, like I said before, is a little scary, but not what I thought.
He just
Like,
looks
I'd never
like-
even seen him before, and that was the first time I didn't really.
Looks like someone
yeah.
took a cherry pie and just like...
Yeah, it's
So
kind of
yeah.
his face.
I'm not gonna jump ahead, but just to go with Scream, even though Freddy Krueger's supposed to be a scary character, his face all burned up and whatnot, there's something scarier about a covered face or a masked face, just because you don't know what's under it.
I think so
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
do have to agree with that. Like
Kinda
even though,
like-
I mean, sorry, jumping ahead. Like Scream, even though it's not, you can't really see any kind of scary features. I feel like that's kind of, it's pretty scary knowing like you don't know who's under there. Like
Yeah.
what
They
is
can
that?
see
And especially
you,
with
you can't see them.
with Frank and Donnie Darko.
Yeah,
that
that's what
scared
I'm
me so much. Like
saying.
it's just
That
this
ending
mask.
scene. Oh my god.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Freaks me out.
Sorry, Moo, did you have anything to finish, by the way? I like cut you off hardcore when we talked
yeah, you
about.
did.
Consider
did
it.
you?
Cut.
S- talking about cutting off. Did you cut off from watching A Nightmare on Elm Street yesterday?
Yesterday.
I mean Sunday,
Oh,
whatever.
get your dates right. No, I'm kidding.
Watching Mike.
Here's the deal,
Do you
guys.
even know what day it is?
I just want to disclose this. I know you all finna roast and you enjoy it. Roasting is very fun. I enjoy it as well, and it's very fun when you're on the other side. But
The what?
when you're on the other side of the roast,
The-
like when
the-
you're
the
not
what?
being roasted, it's very fun. But I just want to say this: by no means have I ever had an intention to deliberately be unconscious during the viewing of a film.
Then explain
ever
this.
in my life. Oh! I said I've never deliberately wanted to be unconscious
about deliberate or
during a
undeliberate.
film.
Then explain
I've
this.
never wanted to be deliberately unconscious during the viewing of a film.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay,
you
listen,
zoned.
roasting is super fun. I really like doing that. That's you guys. That's a really fun
Explain
time.
this.
That's me with a baby. That's a really fun time to do, and I get it. But like, I'm just letting you know, I've never purposely, and I feel so terrible that even has to happen, and anything like it's such a freaking shame. Like I don't know why. It's just like I don't know. I know I say this because of the sleep. I've had a lack of sleep a lot lately. And I don't know. It was just hard for me to be awake. And like it's not like I'm like struggling to be awake and viewing it, but like seriously, I don't know. I wasn't asleep. I watched the film.
Oh,
It's just a
did you
shame.
now?
I did watch the film.
2 words.
But it's a shame. You guys are gonna keep doing this. I know. But I just
Coffee.
want to let you know, like it's not. Moose House doesn't have coffee. He doesn't believe in coffee.
You know, here's the
No,
thing.
I'm just-
I don't even. I'm gonna be real.
Like you should
Oh,
definitely
dude,
make fun of me. Just
I've
keep
fallen
going. Just keep
asleep
going.
during films before. I'm
Yeah.
just I'm tired sometimes. It's hard.
It's a
Your
lot
eyes
going
just
on.
shut.
Like, it's
but
busy
I
days.
I just find it really funny just to like.
It is funny.
But
It is
here's the
funny.
thing.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it's not
It is
even-
funny.
It's not like trying to be mean to you. Though.
It's not
Yeah.
even that big of a deal, except that every prior week we just say, "Oh, haha," jokingly. Michael falls asleep. What does he do during Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, it's a
I think the
crazy
funniest part
coincidence.
is the
It's
Oh my
fact that it was a
God.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, listen
Yeah.
to this. No, listen to this. This is the even.
This is the
better.
kicker. This is the
This
kicker.
You guys are having fun,
Okay,
aren't you?
so Cam
Oh, we
and
haven't
I,
even started having fun. boys.
Cam and I are just chilling next to each other. Michael's chilling next to Cam. We're in these nice recliners at Moo's house. And
Unfortunately, very nice recliners.
yeah, Michael knows. And
I do.
yes. Anyways, Michael's like zonked right now, and Cam and I are just chilling, trying to hold in our laps.
Silently cracking up.
Yeah, like really hard.
Why would you watch the film?
Cam's
Okay.
crying because I'm looking at him. He's like trying to hold it on, and we're trying to get Moo's attention without waking Michael up. And I sneaked in a little Snapchat of Michael sleeping, and you guys will see that pretty soon. And anyways, not only was Michael asleep, he was also talking in his sleep.
I'm
dude,
not even
I
kidding.
swear.
I'm not kidding.
I swear, bro. You think that's
way.
no, dude? I swear.
I need recording.
to
There's
God,
proof.
no.
There's
Listen
no
to this.
proof.
I shit you not.
Yeah, you sweat a lot.
Michael.
Yeah,
No.
you sweat a lot. in this.
Michael. You were talking in your sleep.
I need to put in something.
How do you know I wasn't conscious?
I
I
was-
literally heard you
I was
going.
just talking.
I literally heard you going. Yeah. And your
Elastic
hands
girl.
were moving. I was like, not kidding.
Elastigirl. Anyway, I'm just gonna say something. I was fighting back tears. All of a sudden, I hear Michael mumbling. His eyes shut as a shutter. I can't. No disrespect. I love you, Mike. I just died. I started choking on my water.
Real roast fest.
I just.
You should have died then and choked and died. I would have been happy about that. I would have been so happy you choked and died in that water.
Damn, boy.
You're gonna be the death of this podcast, Cam. If you don't shut your freaking mouth in the next 5 minutes. Listen to me. You don't even appreciate film. You don't know anything about film. All you do is ask me to use dumb college applications, and I get nothing in return except the freaking guy who doesn't know how to find headphones to Mr. Vernon through. I ask you one thing. You can't even find Mr. Vernon's headphones. Doesn't run over there past the glass. You don't even know how to move a freaking computer. I ask one thing of you. That all you can do is just freaking roast me back before I think through the film. I love film. I love making films. I love film. But I can't freaking fall awake, see awake, because all I do is staying up at a new 8-push video for 5 hours.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I just want to apologize ahead of time. I'm really sorry, guys. I just had to let it out, guys. I've been a little, guys. I've just been a little stressed lately.
Michael, tell us how you really feel.
Are you done? Guys, I'm really sorry. I just wanted to let it go. You guys can keep roasting me and everything. I just want to let you know.
Michael,
At least that
I
kinda
think you need to
exaggerated.
change your tampon.
Are you done, McGarren?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What's your response, Carl?
Man, keep your eyes open. That's all I got. if you have to, tape them open.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Same
Next-
roast.
next-
Same roast.
I'm just gonna bring the damn Keurig over to Moo's house next time to keep your ass awake.
You know, I think that deserves some applause.
Sorry, guys.
But let's not forget, it is Halloween. That's
What?
That's a,
Wait,
that's
That's
a chainsaw. It's a
Wait,
chainsaw. It's a
That's
chainsaw.
for tomorrow. That's
Yo,
for tomorrow.
leaf
It's a
blowers
chainsaw.
aren't scary. so-
Anyway, back to Nightmare. My initial thoughts, even though it wasn't super like frightening per se, I thought the concept was actually pretty disturbing. Just because, think about it this way: the whole story is this dude is attacking the characters from within their dreams. So even if they're put in prison, like this one guy was, as soon as he falls asleep, he can die. So these people can't fall asleep, which I think to us or anyone is a very psychologically scary thought of not being able to sleep.
Do you want to hear something crazy about the writing of this movie?
Oh, consider it wanted.
Let's just say the story of the movie was actually based off of true events, because so in like California, I think this one guy was like reporting that he was having horrible nightmares, and he'd keep drinking coffee to stay awake, and he like stayed awake for 3 days straight, and he was too scared to sleep, and then one day he's found dead after having a nightmare. And that's why Wes Craven wrote the movie.
No way.
Wow.
Isn't
That's
that
wild.
crazy?
Want to know what I also just remembered?
Oh, Wes.
There's an episode of The Twilight Zone just like that where this dude goes to a therapist and he can't go to sleep because something in his dream will make him have a heart attack. So as soon as he falls asleep, he doesn't know he's in a dream, but he imagines himself jumping out the window. But in reality, he just dies within seconds.
Wow, that's
Yo,
crazy.
Twilight
also,
Zone's good.
quick shout out. Twilight Zone is amazing. I've been going through it. My friend, shout out to Steven Burns. Amazing guy.
Crazy.
I've been going through it sometimes with him. We watch it on Netflix and stuff. Like they got like the whole original
Yeah.
on Netflix. It looks
Very
it looks
good.
so good.
I've been
Yeah.
watching it
Don't-
on Netflix.
I need to start watching.
Yeah,
that.
you should.
really
Just
good.
kept-
It's
yeah.
real good.
And don't be I don't know. Don't put it down because it's black and white. I love that it's black and white. You
Oh.
don't see that stuff anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's amazing. We still get this, and it's on Netflix. You don't have to dig through VHS. It's literally on Netflix. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing.
To quote Michael Jackson, it doesn't matter if we're black or white.
Exactly.
Trust me, we're gonna have a whole discussion topic about black and white.
Oh, dude.
I can talk
Chill,
for
that's-
hours
that's a
about
good
it.
one.
No, I agree. I've been watching The Twilight Zone every so often on Netflix, and it's timeless. It is.
It's so good.
One thing I really like about like the storyboard of Nightmare was I enjoy films that lets the audience in on a secret that no one else knows. Like
Dramatic irony.
yeah. I really like the dramatic irony on how like you're let in on knowing like these people are having dreams and what's going on in there, but the people on the outside, like the little girl's dad, has no idea what the heck's going on until he finds out. No spoiler alert at the end of the movie.
Oh,
That's
I also
okay.
thought,
It's all spoilers.
Yeah.
yeah, spoilers included. You know, this podcast contains opinions. Another thing, the closing scene was strange to me.
man.
So you think Kruger's gone, Kruger's dead somehow, and you know the girl who looks like Crazy's sister gets in the car with her friends to drive to school. The car locks up all by itself and drives away without anyone touching the gas.
Oh yeah.
And it's Kruger. The mom's just waving, even though the kids are screaming. All of a sudden, she gets choked and taken away by Kruger. So
And pulled through that
what does
window.
this mean? Does this mean he's invincible, or that it was all a dream almost, or what's happening?
You see, like everything all turned white as well. Like even like the
Yeah,
shots,
yeah,
they
yeah.
were
Dream
dancing and they
white.
were like all white as well. So
It's
I was
weird.
Like, I was like, what's happening?
And it's the very end.
Yeah, Michael, you remember that part?
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Dude, the ending. Oh man, this is gonna ruin the ending for some of you guys. But when you see the mom,
sorry.
when you see the mom get pulled through the window,
Oh,
it's such a clear mannequin. It's
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
That's
It
why
was-
I laughed at the end of the movie. I was
He's
I
got
laughed
like
because it was
really.
Wes-
you could've done something
Wes
better.
Craven actually didn't even want to include a shot of the mother getting pulled through the window in the first place. He just wanted it to be them like driving off and then the jump ropes or whatever. But That's so funny.
Those jump ropes are freaky. Would they,
Very
any of
scary.
you guys know
Singing.
what that means? Like what that's a sign of?
Slow motion.
I think it's
Yeah,
just
that's
so
crazy.
And also them singing at the end,
Yeah.
like that song, and then they say, what is it? 1, 2, Freddy's coming.
That-
for you.
oh
I
my
was like-
gosh, I
was
hate
like,
that.
I was
Yeah.
like,
I hate
that.
wow,
I love
man.
5, 6, grab your crucifix.
Yeah.
I think that just somehow adds to the creepy horror effect because same deal with The Shining, the two little girls in the hallway outside 237, like something about young children with like I don't know, maybe brighter colors like white. It's just creepy.
It is. It's very scary, especially
Put in the context of
Children
horror.
are
Yeah.
scary
just
In
Yeah.
horror movies.
in horror
in
movies.
everything.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm kind of itching to move on to Scream.
Oh,
Why not? Why
If you
not?
guys, I mean, if you
Trust
guys are
me.
down.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I'm down. If you're
I'm
down.
down.
Oh, I'm down.
I feel like this movie was just like, it was funny. It was just like I feel like
It's a
it was
satire.
it was like horror, but you also had that funny feeling. So you always had that laugh whenever like a new scene would come up.
Yeah, so another Wes Craven film.
Yep.
Amazing. So yeah, this is like in the 90s because the 80s after Halloween came out, they were just pumping out slasher after slasher. So this is Wes Craven just like parodying like all the cliches of slasher movies.
Same guy who
And-
did Nightmare.
Yep.
Yeah, and he also like jokes about himself because I'm pretty sure he directed the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels. But when she's like, "Oh yeah, the first Nightmare on Elm Street is good, but then the rest sucked," he's just like roasting himself. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But the thing that works about this in comparison to a movie like Scary Movie is that it also works as a fun slasher movie, and it's a great comedy. It's both of them. Whereas something like Scary Movie is just like quotation marks comedy.
Personally, like first thing I said when I started watching the movie, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this before, but then I'm just thinking about the Scary Movie version of it, and I almost wish I didn't see that before I
Yeah.
watched the original Scream because it gave away so many like key factors in the actual movie that I feel like I missed out on like getting the experience because yeah, and I really liked the comedy aspect of the movie too.
Yeah, I think you guys might disagree, but I feel like Scream is a horror film with comedic elements, but then other films like Scary Movie is a comedy film with like horrific elements in it. I feel like that's kind of what
Yeah,
sums it
yeah.
up. It's like Scream, I feel like at its core, it's like it's a horror movie, but it also has that just just that fun, like just the characters and the way they talk and like the things they say. It's like, bro, like what is? How does this even like? It's like how is this not like a comedy? Like, but
I
I think
feel like Scream is, for me personally, I found it just like pure comedy with great horror in it. Like, and then Scary Movie, I just find pure comedy, quotation marks.
yeah, the horror is just the comedy. It's not even like supposed to be
Yeah.
scary. Yeah.
I'm gonna get my thoughts on Scream. So yeah, obviously I thought a lot of it was kind of funny and comedic. Particularly there was this one scene where we all just bust out laughing where the Scream character kills someone and then it just like does such a cheesy zoom in to his face from like afar, and it's just like oof, like he just like comes from out of the
Oh,
door.
dude. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I love whenever the Ghostface character is just like in the background, like when he's in
Just
the
chilling.
bushes and
Yeah.
then just goes,
And he's in the
It's
beer
so funny.
store.
So funny.
He's in the store in the
Yeah.
reflection.
Oh yeah.
Besides that, there are only two scenes which I thought were like legitimately creepy. One, the first scene with the Drew Barrymore
Classic.
character,
Yeah. That's pretty
where the parents find her hung from a tree and her insides are all spilled out.
scene.
That was disturbing a bit, just because, it's sad and it just like catches you right away since it's the opening. And then at the end, when we find out that they're actually two dudes who are the Scream character, and they're like, oh, well, the cops are gonna come, they're gonna know it's us, so let's stab each other.
And then he stabs.
He ends up like
yeah.
low key killing one of them. I'm just like, how demented do you have to be to want to get stabbed?
Yeah, that was
pressure.
that was
That was
crazy.
such a weird scene.
I know,
Yeah,
that-
like that when
I
they
could
stab each
I
other
was
back
like,
and
what is
forth.
Yeah,
happening right
yeah.
now?
Going off of what you said, like the opening scene, I did find like I guess the main character, the girl or whatever that got hung, I found her acting like really cheesy too though. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they were going
Yeah,
for,
no,
but
definitely.
it was just like kind of like, bruh, come on. Like
Dude, so that part where it like, you know that like almost like speed ramp, like post converted slow motion when it zooms in on her on the tree. They
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
had to do that because if they didn't, it would have been NC-17.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, for violence.
Wow.
It's not even that violent.
Like, I mean, it was back then. Like it was. Wait, how long ago? When
96.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I mean,
I don't know how.
jeez.
I got a few things to share about some of the characters. So one thing, I didn't realize this till I went home that night. The principal, Principal Himby or Hemby or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the Fonz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing, Dewey,
Dewey go.
classic. And
Yeah.
he was married to the news reporter
Yep.
lady who was Monica and Friends.
You
They
mean
were
in
married.
Oh.
Yeah, in real life.
What?
And
in real
like
life.
in real life?
Yeah, in
Wow,
real life.
that's
After the
weird,
movie, I
bro.
think they met on the set. And
What?
Oh, so not at the time, or you mean like in what?
Yeah, I
in what
think-
sequence of events. Like were they married during Scream?
I think they
Or just-
met at. I'm not positive. I think
Oh,
they
okay.
met at Scream and got married after. They're divorced now, but
Oh, okay.
it was just weird. Like, wow. And they, had kind of a love interest during the movie, but I was like, oh wow, they actually got married. And Dewey, his real name is David Arquette
Yup, I know. who
from
he
like
is.
a famous like business family or whatever. His sister or relative, Rosanna Arquette, Toto wrote the song Rosanna after her.
Wow.
Whoa.
Rosanna
that's
Arquette.
crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Wow. That's
Um,
really cool.
Oh, I got some extra trivia from this movie. The original title for this movie was Scary Movie.
What?
No way.
Wow.
Original title is Scary Movie, but then they changed it to Scream.
I guess they have some similar,
How?
like just the
Wow,
titles in general.
that's
like
crazy.
I can see how that would come from. Wow, that's interesting.
One thing I also liked about this movie is like the horror like character is usually always invincible. You always see that character always surviving
Yeah.
to the end of the film, and then like in this one, they don't survive.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I love how he's like, just gotta wait 1 second because the killer always comes back for one final scare.
Yeah.
And then she just shoots him.
yeah.
No, that was another thing I
So
love.
funny.
Just the fact that they're like laying out all the classic elements from horror movies because the one dude works at a
Video rental store.
video rental store. He's like, oh, he's right behind you. Meanwhile, the Scream is
yeah.
right behind him, and he's like,
I remember that, yeah.
It's like, Jamie.
don't ever
we're back."
say, I'll be right back. Because trust me,
Yeah.
you won't be. And then he's like, oh, you know what they say?
Yeah.
The virgin always lives. Meanwhile, the main character and the boyfriend are getting frisky upstairs. And then he survives after he tries. Oh, I've never been so glad to be a virgin. I just thought that was so funny.
I just thought it was crazy how he knew the guy that worked at the movie store knew the whole time. Like he called it from a mile away. Like those guys are the killers, and no one believed him. And the way the movie was, I guess, thought out is they made you believe that too. They made you think like, oh, they're not the killers. It's
I
this
never
guy.
thought it was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I
saying,
really
yeah.
never did.
I thought it
yeah.
was Dewey at first.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought.
I'm sorry, but like I felt like he
Doing
was
my
the,
boy
he was the
Dewey.
convict.
I'm pretty sure that's who they had be the killer in Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Knock off.
That's what I thought. That's why I was like, oh, he's the killer, but no.
Let's just be real. Sorry to cut you off, Smalls. We all know if something like that happened in our town, Moo would be the guy tracking like the horror elements and like predicting everything.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, might be. Were you gonna say something?
I forgot my point.
Oh, way to go, Croft.
I'm
But,
sorry.
Anamorphic.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my
Beautiful.
gosh, really good use.
That
Really
was
good
so
use.
well done. Every time I saw that, oh my, the
Yeah, me-
anamorphic flares, I just was like,
Yeah, Moo, Brendan, and I like all just simultaneously be like, oh, like every time, every time I see.
Oh, sure.
No,
Croft
can't-
was
can't
like,
much-
wait, what?
Yeah,
what are you
mean?
guys
What's
talking
that?
about? 4K.
But it's kind of like nowadays horror movies aren't nearly as nice to look at.
Yeah, true. That is very true. Like, for example, I don't know. I like the way The Witch looked.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
well that's
I mean, that's a given.
Now I don't know if which one I favored more over the look of what was it, Scream over Nightmare. What's your
Oh, you-
opinion on that? I don't. It kind of
Ooh,
Nightmare gave me that
interesting.
older like film
It
kind of
definitely
look.
felt.
I
older,
like-
It
yeah.
felt older.
the color in Nightmare is really nice. It's like
Yeah.
really lush and I also like even though it wasn't anamorphic, just like the depth of field in that movie looks really.
Yeah, you don't
nice.
need anamorphic for it to be
Yeah.
pleasing, but like
I think that was
used
just a
well,
really
it's-
cool key element that they fit into Scream that worked pretty well with the movie.
Yep.
Oh, I might actually go with Nightmare looking better solely because like the things they did with like the dream sequences and
Yeah.
like
That was
the
neat.
soft
Yeah.
overexposure and the ending jump ropes, and they had a lot more like content to mess around visually with.
Yeah.
Like the bathtub shot with the claws coming out.
Yeah.
That stuff's awesome. But Scream was more of like a straightforward type of
Yeah,
slasher.
it's pretty
and
flat.
it looks
like,
good
it's
for
like-
what it is.
yeah, not much change. Yeah, it's-
I don't know if this is a good analogy per se, but I feel like in that sense, Scream is kind of similar to Bill and Ted's almost because it's about like the dialogue and the characters. It's not really about the shots or the filming. It's just straight up just.
I think I know what
You
you're
know what-
saying.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I got you.
You picking up what I'm putting
Yeah.
down?
Characters are great in Scream.
Yeah, and
I think it just.
I really think
I think
so.
it goes based off the whole comedy aspect of
Yeah,
it too,
for
because
sure.
Scream obviously they're going for the comedic aspect, and same with Bill and Ted's.
Yeah. Speaking of comedy, Moo and I heard on the radio this afternoon a Jonah Hill interview, and the kid's a goat. So if you want to throw us a sponsor, feel free.
Feel free.
Shout out to the janitor that's chilling outside right
Thanks
now.
for keeping our schools clean.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Especially the podcast.
Custodian.
I mean, custodian, if you're into that.
All right.
Shall we?
Shall we indulge in our final and probably my favorite of the three?
Easily.
Let's.
Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
I have to give this a 10 out of 10, man.
That is
Such a good movie.
without a doubt a 10 out of 10. I mean,
So crazy.
come on. If you think the book's better than the movie.
Yeah, Croft.
Who reads books? Sorry.
Oh, wait, Croft.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Sorry for liking books.
Oh.
And
no.
sorry that, you know what, I'll save it. Let me hear what
You
you
know,
got
why
to
don't you
say.
save it for the podcast?
Let me hear what you got to say.
All right. So, before you get on me or say anything, The Shining is a great movie. I like it. It's a fine movie. It's nice. No, it's more than fine. It's a really good movie. But I don't think it's very faithful to the book, which isn't bad at all, but
So you think it veers away from the storyboard or the
Yeah.
storyline
definitely.
from the
He
book?
probably.
All right,
thinks it's some
Croft.
elements aren't
I got a follow-up
kept
question.
in exactly.
Have you
Yeah.
watched The Shining?
I have.
Have you?
Have you?
Oh, Michael, you better watch
No, no,
it.
no,
No.
Answer sincere question.
Answer
from
the
Movie.
question. Have you watched The Shining in its full entirety?
I've watched it with my dad, Frone.
Okay,
Shout out to Frone.
just making sure. Because yesterday you were throwing some suspicion towards my way. Anyways, I don't think it's a
I've
problem.
watched The Shining as much as Michael's watched Nightmare.
So
Oh.
0.
Oh,
Michael!
watch it.
I've seen it not in its entirety. If you're giving it
Because,
in entirety, then
You said
yes.
earlier that you watched
You know
the
what's
whole
bad
I
when the
didn't say I
person
watched
you're
the whole
roasting turns on your side and starts roasting themselves.
Well, I'm
Michael,
using,
that was a setup.
I'm using your roast as a roast against him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I
So
was
basically,
going to admit
are you saying you didn't see Shining?
Oh, like it's gone joke. All right. Anyway,
But nah,
continue.
I couldn't care less if a movie veers away from the book if the changes are far superior.
That's true. I agree with that.
I mean, here's the problem with the book. It doesn't leave enough to be a mystery. Because you know what they say, the things we're scared of the most are the things we don't fully understand. That's why like
Facts.
the bear scene, there's no
Yeah.
explanation
Oh
in the
my
movie
gosh.
and it's just amazing. She just walks upstairs and then the bear is just there and I'm like, what the but in the book I'm pretty sure they just like explain the whole like dog person thing and like it's like, okay, thanks for taking away the mystery.
And I feel like not books and movies have two different sides though, because I feel like you can express different key elements of the story you're trying to tell in films in different ways than you could with a book. Like you can go into more detail like with words, but you could also go into way more detail like showing someone something like by filming it and stuff like
Exactly. You can't get the like dread that comes with the shots of the blood flowing from the elevator, with that
Yeah.
music, that low music and that slow motion, from reading the book. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've read some pretty good books that have knocked my socks off. But
I mean, I've
granted-
read some great books too.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, like The Outsiders. Great fucking
Great book.
Buddy Hinton's good, but how
Movie?
about one that you didn't have to read for school?
Exactly. The Outsiders is an example of a book better than the movie.
Oh, the movie's horrible. I'm sorry.
But back to The Shining. Kubrick. Oh my God, his framing. He's so good. And also, the book didn't have the great line, "Here's Johnny."
That's one of the classic lines.
Johnny.
Not in the book.
Also, one thing that the book didn't include is how Jack actually got to the Overlook Hotel. They literally just went straight into it, how he was already at the Overlook.
Oh yeah, the opening credits, The Shining, was like all through the mountain ranges and that music. Just it sets the tone immediately. It's just so good, and there's just so many
Oh,
layers.
bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
It's
consider yourself thanked.
trust
I mean, welcome.
all right. Just like everything is just so nice to look at. The music is phenomenal. Just like the sound, the music's almost like a sound design almost. It's almost part of the sound mixing instead of an actual score. It's just like violin hits or stuff like that. Sounds so good. The two girls, I mean, come on. That's iconic.
Truly is.
Some people like to share their thoughts on this film.
Kevlar.
One thing I liked was as the movie progressed, it just seemed like it was so bright at the beginning, and as it like continued, you saw like Jack like build his depression, and like it was just creating a darker and duller like look for the viewer, and I just really love that about the movie.
Oh yeah. And also, another thing book doesn't have. All work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. That's one of the best scenes. Just
Easily the best.
the
one
amount
the
of
best
times I've been inspired by the shot of Shelley Duvall's character walking over the stack of papers, and then when
Flipping.
it cuts to the reverse and zooms on the pages, it's just like, oh. And then the great scene with Jack Nicholson, and she has the baseball bat, and he's like, "I'm not gonna hurt you."
Oh yeah.
Light of my world. I said I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them in. Bash them the fuck in. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
The two little girls freaked me out. Same with the bear. Just like the
'cause
cheesiness
that's
of like the costume or
yeah.
whatever the heck it was. It just was like, what even is that?
It's so
I'd like to wear that for Halloween.
I mean, you're just in time.
I mean,
True.
Yeah,
When is
those-
that tomorrow?
consider me hollowed.
Or if you're listening right now.
Facts. Yeah. So,
What you guys think of the performances?
Jack Nicholson was absolutely incredible. I think that was one of his best roles he's ever had.
Exactly.
I mean, Jack Nicholson's
Yeah.
a beast. Not only is he an insane actor, but he's also the LA Lakers' biggest fan.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. But no, yeah, I think his performance is like insane in that. And I mean the wife, I don't know. I think she did pretty good in that kind of having that innocence and everything throughout it, and I kind of almost like felt bad for it sometimes. But I don't know. I think obviously Jack's performance like exceeds hers though. But I just think
I
I think she
agree,
did a
yeah.
pretty good job though of seeing just kind of like, why are you doing, like, why is, like, just seeing his change and just her reaction to that I think was
Oh, yeah.
pretty
Sheer
believable.
emotion.
Let's just
Yeah.
say
When
on,
he- yeah.
on set,
Yeah.
she was not having a good time.
Really?
You
Really?
know?
Yeah,
But she
Stanley
quit.
Kubrick.
She quit acting after you want to
Wow.
tell
Yeah,
about
Stanley Kubrick actually like bullied her almost like to a point
Jeez.
where it like ended her career. Like
Wow.
it was
I did not realize the end
Yeah,
of this.
every
Wow.
scene she'd do, he'd just like roast her for horrible acting, and he'd do over 100 takes for like
That's
every
insane.
one of
no
her
wonder she
scenes.
seems so in distress.
Really?
like the
Yeah,
bat
that's
scene,
crazy.
wasn't it like 130 takes?
Yeah,
That's
and then
insane.
Holy crap.
also he'd also psychologically torment with her because he'd always be like praising Jack Nicholson and like getting him done
On
in
set
like
playing
few
mind
takes.
games. With,
Wow.
like,
Yeah,
literally,
exactly.
Wow.
Like
Like,
he's an artistic genius.
Imagine-
Even though he might take it a little too far, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the product is quite
So wait,
nice.
what's her name?
Shelley
Back.
Duvall.
I got a quick question for all you. It's somewhat unrelated, but has anyone here read the sequel, Doctor Sleep?
I mean,
Nope.
I don't read.
Nah,
Really-
sorry.
It's really good. I don't think there's not a movie, right? It's pretty recent, but
Oh, and another
it's a good read
another
for all you
bit of
bookworms.
proof that the movie is better than the book. So Stephen King was unhappy with the movie, as expected, because Stanley Kubrick took his inferior work and made it better. So now everyone remembers his work as Stanley
Superior.
Kubrick's.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
This is Stephen King you're talking about.
yeah, Stephen King's great, but not as
Stanley
shiny.
Kubrick's better.
And
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
But so then Stephen King produces this mini series, Shining mini series, that's very faithful to the book, and it's absolutely atrocious. It's one of the worst mini series as you can see.
I've heard elsewise, but I'll
Oh,
throw you a
trust me,
bone.
you did not hear elsewise.
Oh. Consider it heard though.
There's a reason people remember The Shining as the movie.
Facts. But I mean,
Facts.
That's what I'm
hey,
saying.
watch it, buddy. Remember, you're still in the doghouse. But let me put it this way.
But York.
I'm messing. But all in all, Halloween special I think was a success, movie wise.
Check all your candy. Don't do drugs.
Stay in school. And by stay in school, I mean sleep in after Halloween, kids.
Be excellent.
Long
And
night.
party on, dudes.
Oh, and I think, are we ready to make a couple recommendations for next week?
Ooh. Well, it's November, so let's just say we don't have any specific theme, correct?
I mean,
I mean, there's not many Thanksgiving
Yeah,
movies.
we don't have to.
What do you mean? There's plenty of.
What?
Cameron, what was that?
Oh, we'll get to that towards Thanksgiving time.
like bet.
But let's just say, I feel like recommending some movies that I truly love. So my recommendation, this one's a doozy. This one's an emotional roller coaster. It's in top 5 of the decade.
Ooh, chill with that.
Let's just say it's a banger. We're talking the 2013 film directed by Spike Jonze, Her, with Joaquin
Ooh.
Phoenix. It's on Netflix. I can't. I simply can't recommend it enough. It's perfect.
And it's all right with you guys. You guys mind if I recommend an album for next week?
Let's do it.
Shoot
so,
it up.
I saw
I mean,
this. Whoa, chill. Man. Whoa, I saw this artist live. He is one of the best. No, probably the best
Banjo player.
banjo
right?
player in the world.
What?
He plays
Banjo.
jazz banjo.
Jazz
And,
banjo.
His name is Bela Fleck, and this is an album by his band, Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. It's called Live Art, and some of their music just stuns me. It's so relaxing and it's just unique because banjo and jazz, it's outworldly.
Consider it checked out.
Oh, good. And we have another special guest on next week.
This is another doozy.
And let me just give you your special hint. She is our #1 fan. That's all I will say. So thanks for tuning in.
One.
And
She was #1.
Thank you,
Schmitty
Kevin.
Warp and Jagger Banjo.
this
Thanks, guys.
is the end.
Damn.